Here are the top 5 comps that you should play on patch 13.20. Once again, I have teamed up with one of the best challengers players on the server to give you the best chance of climbing in the current patch. We are starting out with one of the more new comps, multicaster TF. We're playing the 4 multicasters in the backline, TF and Vel'Koz as the main carries, and adding in the 2 other multicasters to give us 4 in the trade. In the front line we have Kayle as our main tank, and adding in Swain and Xayah as well. The most important thing is that we are getting TF and Kayle to 3-star, but we do also look for Vel'Koz to 3-star. The most important items is that we're getting blue buffs on the backlines, especially TF, and we're getting tank items on Kayle. Other than that, we're looking for classic magic items like Gunblade and Gauntlet, but other than that, we could also look for something like Spark or Static Shift. After getting the 2 first tank items, we don't have to build more tank items since we're already getting the 3rd item from Demacia, which will be a Radiant item. Meanwhile, we're prioritizing these kind of items. We want to go level 6 at 3-2 and stabilize. And from here, we just want to roll above 50 to hit TF and Kayle to 3-star and hold all the Vel'Koz that we find as well. Usually when we hit 40 or 30 health in the start of stage 4, does indicate that we want to start rolling a bit deeper, and we kinda have to hit the 3-star units when we hit stage 5. Augments that we're looking for is any augments that makes us having an easier time to hit the 3-star units. That could be something like all the ticket augments, but it could also be something that gives the backline a bit more time, like Winds of War. Other than having TF as our carry, we do also want TF as a legend, and that is due to we are very picky with the items that we want. Are you getting these kind of items and these kind of augments, you will have a great chance of winning the game. And if you're ever ending up leveling up from here, you can put in something like a Seer or even Rise for more traits to buff up the team. But usually the other units is more than enough. Next up we have 7 Demacias with Slayer. The newest changes to Fiora will probably make Fiora even better in this comp, but a bit weaker in the others. And that is why we are looking at Demacia this time. Are you having components for Rageblade and a lot of Kayle units in the early game? You are looking for 3-star Kayle. But are you on the other hand not getting any of this? You will go up in level and look for a Quinn to 3-star instead and make her your new carry. Another great option is just to go for the 2-star Fiora and make her the carry. The comp is super flexible when it comes to who's gonna be the carry. And it's overall just feels super good to get a lot of Radiant items from Demacia. Are you finding components and a lot of Kayle units? You will try to 3-star her before you're going up in levels. Then you want to go to level 7 as fast as possible and play this board. And from here you want to choose between getting Fiora and Xayah to 2-star as the other units, or go to level 8 and get them to 2-star there. From here you just want to add in more Slayer units, and that will be multicaster and Aatrox in your level 9 board. Very important is to remember that at level 6 and level 9, Kayle will get a huge buff. When it comes to augments, we can go for something for Demacia, or either an emblem for Demacia or Slayer. The good thing about the emblems is that we're getting Slayers and Demacia faster, and makes us able to hit the traits before we're getting to level 9. Next up we have Nilah and the Sejuani comp. So this is the full board. But before we ending up in this board, we have to take a step back and go back to our level 7 board. And from here we can go into the full comp. So this is what we are looking at level 7. We're playing Ashe, we're playing Nilah, Nautilus, Sejuani and Xayah. And whenever we find Gangplank, we will take him in and take Misfortune out and put the items over. We obviously keep going up in levels, and when we find Heimerdinger, we'll put him in. The same goes for Aatrox, and whenever we find Xayah, we will take Xayah in and take Vi out. So this will be our end board, and we will obviously put items over to Sejuani, which will be the tank items. One more items for Nilah, that could be something like Titans, it could also be something like Bloodthirster. If we find more AP items, it could go on Gangplank, and Protector's Vow is always good on Xayah. Augments that we're looking for is something like Scoped Weapon, means that we can put another items on Nilah. Gift from the Fallen is also great as well, since Nilah will probably be one of the last units standing. And once again we are a little bit picky of the items, and that means we want 2 of the Rapified Cannons, and that is why we are picking TF again as a legend. Next up we have the Cho'Gath carry once again. So there is a few small changes since we saw it the last patch. but we are still looking for the classic Cho'Gath items, Dragon's Claw, Redemption and Bramble Vest. Cass will be in the backline with a blue buff plus 2 damage items. It could also be a Gunblade. We want to hit Cho'Gath and Cass to 3-star, and if we find Renekton as well, that is just great, but else we will start go up in levels. The most important things, other than getting the items and the 3-star units, is that we are hitting 6 in bruises. Are you finding Vi and Rek'Sai 3-star as well? It has to be natural and you should not roll down for them. It is way more important to get 6 in the trade. And that is why getting a free point in bruises early makes it way easier to get 6 in the trade before we find Xayah. And that means we can spike way harder early in the game. Are we getting all the way up to level 9? We can add in something like Aatrox, but we could also add in something like Heimer. Other units that you can look for in the game before hitting the full comp. But else, this is the most important. And are you getting to level 9? Once again, add in the 5-cost units. It is way better every single time. Last up, we have Xayah Nilah. And this is definitely not a new comp anymore, but we are still gonna see this comp in the current patch, due to the nerf wasn't that big. We are once again looking for 6 Ionias and 4 in Vanquishers, and the augments is quite important since we want the Ionia crest on Nilah, and if we can get scoped weapon, that is just making Nilah even stronger. Other than the emblem, Nilah wants Bloodthirster and Titan, and Xayah wants something like Last Whisper, Giant Slayer, Gunblade, or even Guardbreaker could be useful. Your tank items will go on Shen, and just to put in all the units that you can play around, Darius, Irelia and Karma, and take one of them out when you want to play for your level 7 board. Karma isn't needed, and you do have one more Vanquisher, and that could be something like Darius to take out, and play for this board at level 7. Try to get to level 8 as fast as possible, and add in Darius once more. When you want to cap out the board, you will put in Aatrox instead of Darius, and you will add in either Xayah or Heimerdinger. And for legends, you should pick something like Earth. If you want to have the emblem, you could also go by one of the other classic legends, but if you want to force it, Earth is probably the right one for you. There is also another version where you are going for Ashe instead, and that is only if you're getting a lot of Ashe units and if you have a chance to put an emblem on her instead. Then you're also putting in Sejuani to get the 2 Freljord. One other thing to mention is Last Whisper is probably not the right one for you in this one, since we already have that from Freljord. If you have any questions about any of the comps, you can just leave a comment, or you can go to Snuble's Twitch channel, which I have linked to. And if you want to learn even more, you should probably watch this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next guide.